Good morning. Welcome to Senate Finance. I'm Marilyn Dondero-Loop. I'll be chairing the meeting today. We will be doing a work session. So if you're listening, that's what our agenda will be right now. So with that being said, would the secretary please call the roll?
Senator Buck. Here. Senator Neal. Senator Wen. Here. Senator Scheibel. Here. Senator Stone. Here. Senator Taylor. Present. Senator Titus. Here. Chair Dondero-Loop.
And I am here, and please mark all present with Senator Scheibel assisting Senator Canizaro today by being in her place. Thank you very much. Just a reminder to turn off all cell phones or mute your devices. And with that, we will go to the work session, and we will start with Senate Bill 6, and we'll go to Ms. Crockett, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 6 was heard in committee on May 19th. It makes general fund appropriations of $600,000 in each year of the biennium to the Desert Research Institute of the Nevada System of Higher Education to support the cloud seeding program. The bill was presented by Senator Scheibel, accompanied by a representative of the Desert Research Institute. There are 6 comments in support, 1 comment in opposition, no comments in neutral, no amendments were discussed. If the committee wished to approve the bill, the appropriate motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much, Senator Wynn. A second from Senator Scheibel. And any discussion on this bill? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I'll give Senator Scheibel the floor statement.
Excuse me, Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Would there be a chance we could get an overview of the work bills we're going to do a work session on so I can create a list?
Yes, I surely can. I apologize. We'll be doing Senate Bill 6, Senate Bill 81, 104, 119, 132, 193, 233, 403, 427, and 207.
Just to confirm, SB 6, SB 81, SB 104, SB 119, SB 132, SB 193, SB 233, SB 403, SB 427, and SB 207.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, and thank you for that reminder. All right, with that, we will go to Senate Bill 81, and we'll go to Mr. Malone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. James Malone, LCV Fiscal for the record. Senate Bill 81 was heard on May 22nd, 2025. 3 spoke in support, 1 spoke in opposition, none spoke in neutral. Senate Bill 81, as amended, makes changes to various education laws, including updates to financial procedures, reporting requirements, and program administration. It also eliminates certain mandates and shifts several responsibilities from the State Board of Education to the Department of Education. There was a conceptual amendment presented during the hearing that would consolidate the Incentivizing Pathways to Teaching Grant Program, the Teach Nevada Scholarship Program, and the Teach Nevada Advancement Scholarship Program into one budget account called the Teach Nevada Recruitment Preparation and Retention Program. It would also combine all funding from these programs and make them block grants to the providers. This morning, fiscal staff has worked with the NDE on a conceptual amendment regarding conflictions with how the program is structured in the bill as amended, and the conceptual amendments with how the programs identified for consolidation were closed during the respective budget hearings and the funding in the K-12 education bill. A revision to the conceptual amendment and various components of the bill as amended are recommended in concurrence with the department to remain in statute but begin in fiscal year 2028 or July 1st, 2027 to delay the implementation of the new block grant program to the next biennium. This would allow the department time to reconcile funds, structure the program, and implement for the 2027-29 biennium. With this recommendation for a conceptual amendment is included, there would be no fiscal impact on the bill from the Department of Education for the identified budgets for the 2025-27 biennium. If the committee wishes to pass this legislation with the conceptual amendment and the recommended revision to the bill as amended and the and the conceptual amendments. The appropriate motion would be to amend and do pass as amended. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions on this? I do have one. Mr. Malone, would you just clarify how these programs that are all going to now be under one umbrella, if you will, would you just clarify how that that grant program will work, or what we are doing with that?
Thank you, Madam Chair. James Malone. For the record, well, the block program itself, is my understanding in the bill, if implemented in the 27-29 biennium, would allow the Department of Education to provide funding as a block grant to the providers, and the providers themselves would have the authority to distribute accordingly based on the needs of the institutions. Currently, as it was closed in the K-12 education funding bill, these three programs, the Teach, hold on, let me get those for you, the Incentivizing Pathways to Teaching Grant Program, the Teach Nevada Scholarship Program, and the Teach Nevada Advancement Scholarship Programs are each living in separate budget accounts with various provisions such as wage assessment revenues being distributed on a reimbursement basis. There's also restrictions on how these funds can be distributed, such as a 25% holdback for participating individuals in the Teach Nevada Scholarship Program, and at this time, the ongoing liability or obligation for those participating individuals has not been reconciled and are unknown at this time, hence making it difficult to combine all this funding into a single block grant program when some of those funds are already obligated to participating individuals. I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Okay, yes, thank you very much. I just wanted to make sure that I understood so that we don't, this is important funding for our students that are becoming educators. And so I just wanted to make sure in the next biennium that we might have some flexibility on that incentivizing teaching program in terms of scholarships and amounts tied to that. So that's probably the most important thing of that, and that may be policy rather than fiscal. So thank you very much, Mr. Malone. All right, with that, I'll accept a motion.
I'd so move to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much, Senator Nguyen. Second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion on this particular bill? Not hearing any. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I will take the floor statement. Next bill is Senate Bill 104, and we'll go to Ms. Crockett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kathy Crockett for the record. Senate Bill 104 was heard in committee on May 13th. It appropriates $2 million in each year of the biennium to the Department of Education other state education programs budget account for allocation to nonprofit organizations for the cost associated with school gardens. The bill was presented by Senator Pezzina. There was discussion of a proposal to amend the general fund in the bill to $200,000 per year. The Department of Education did submit a fiscal note as introduced, indicating a cost of about $200,000 per year. However, based on the reduced appropriation, they submitted a revised fiscal impact that was relatively de minimis. There were 4 comments in support of the bill, no comments in opposition, and no comments in neutral. If the committee wished to move the bill with the reduced general fund appropriation of $200,000 per year, the motion would be to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much. Any questions? I'll accept a motion.
I'd so move to amend and do pass as amended with a reduction in the general fund allocation of $200,000 in each year of the biennium, and also not to fund the additional position as NDE is currently doing this. So I'm not really sure why they would need additional staff to do this. So I would recommend we not fund that position.
Okay, thank you very much. Senator Nguyen, and a second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion on this bill? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. And I will give the floor statement to Senator Pezzina. And we'll move on to Senate Bill 119. Ms. Crockett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kathy Crockett for the record. Senate Bill 119 requires the College of Southern Nevada Division of Small Business and Entrepreneurship to develop, create, and oversee the Nevada Grow program. It appropriates $1.9 million to carry out this program. The bill was presented by Senator Neal. There were a number of comments in support, no comments in opposition or neutral. There were no amendments discussed. However, after further discussion, the committee may wish to consider amending the bill to provide a general fund appropriation of $1.2 million. If the committee wished to approve the lower amount of money, the motion would be to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? I'll accept a motion.
And I'm sorry, Ms. Crockett, was that an amend and do pass with a reduction?
Yes, if the committee wished to accept the $1.2 million, it would be amend and do pass as amended.
If we were just to include the 1.9 as recommended, would it just be do pass?
Yes, that would be do pass.
Can we have a 1-minute recess? Thank you, Madam Chair. Then my motion would be to amend and do pass as amended with that reduction.
Thank you very much. A second from Senator Scheibel. And with that, is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I'll give Senator Neal the floor statement. And we'll move on to Senate Bill 132, and we will go to Mr. Thorley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Senate Bill 132 makes an appropriation to the Nevada Clean Energy Fund and was heard in this committee on May 15th and presented by Senator Wynn and Kirsten Stasio from the Nevada Clean Energy Fund. There was lots and lots of testimony in support. There was one testifier in opposition and no neutral testimony. There are options. Senator Wynn testified at the bill hearing that there are options to reduce the general fund appropriation in the bill. It's currently written at $5 million. After discussion, there's been talk about reducing that to $500,000 for the Clean Energy Fund. If the committee wishes to move this bill with the reduction in the general fund appropriation to the Nevada Clean Energy Fund to $500,000, the appropriate action would be to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a motion.
And so move to amend and do pass as amended with that reduction.
Thank you very much, and I'll take a second from Senator Scheibel. And with that, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Nay from Senator Titus, Senator Stone, and Senator Buck. And with that, the motion passes, and I'll give the floor statement to Senator Wynn. And we'll go to Senate Bill 193, and we'll go to Mr. Thorley again.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley again for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Senate Bill 193 was heard on May 16th in this committee and establishes a pilot program to reduce interest rates on mortgage loans to certain eligible borrowers. The bill was presented by Senator Doñate. There are no fiscal notes. However, there's a $10 million general fund appropriation in the bill to the Housing Division of the Department of Business and Industry to carry out the pilot program to reduce interest rates. Testimony at the bill hearing. Well, let me back up just 1 second. The effective date in the bill as currently written is January 1, 2026, so about 6 months into the upcoming fiscal year. There was testimony provided at the bill hearing, both by Senator Doñate and the Housing Division, that the effective date of the bill could be moved up to get this money out for the pilot program sooner. And the Housing Division indicated in their testimony that they are equipped to do that. There were no other amendments discussed at the bill hearing. If the committee wishes to move this bill with a change in the effective date to July 1, 2025, the appropriate action would be to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a motion.
I would move to amend and do pass as amended with that increased or sped up, I guess, implementation date.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion on Senate Bill 193? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Senator Titus, Senator Stone, and Senator Buck, nays. Motion carries, and I'll give Senator Donate the floor statement. And with that, we will go to Senate Bill 233.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kathy Crockett for the record. Senate Bill 233 requires the Council on Food Security within the Department of Health and Human Services to conduct a study relating to the financial stability of the Home Feeds Nevada Agriculture Food Purchase Program. The bill appropriates $800,000 to the Nutritious Food Purchase Account for use by the Director of the State Department of Agriculture to carry out the Home Feeds Nevada Agricultural Food Purchase Program. Regarding fiscal impact, the Department of Agriculture had indicated there was no fiscal impact on the bill in its current form. The bill was presented by Senator Doñate. There were 5 comments in support, no comments in opposition, one comment in neutral, and no amendments were presented or discussed. If the committee wished to approve the bill, the appropriate motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a motion.
I'd so move to do pass.
Thank you very much from Senator Wynn. Senator Scheibel, second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I will give the floor statement to Senator Donate. We will move on to Senate Bill, down here first, or no, this one. 403, Mr. Thorley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Senate Bill 403 was heard in this committee on May 21st and revises provisions relating to education. It was presented by Senator Dondero Loop and Nathan Driscoll and I think Janice Case from the National Center on Education and Economy. Testimony and support was provided by the Nevada Association of School Boards, the NSHE, UNLV, Nevada Association of School Superintendents, UNR, CCSD, Vegas Chamber, and Trucking Meadows Community College. There's no testimony in opposition or neutral. There is a fiscal note on this bill from the Department of Education as submitted. However, based on discussions with the Department of Education, the bill in its current form, which there has been amendment adopted in the Policy Committee. It's in its first reprint. Based on the bill in its current form, the Department of Education has indicated that in order to carry out the provisions of the bill, they would need an education professional position and a management analyst position and an operating cost. That would work out to approximately $223,000 in fiscal year 26 and approximately $280,000 in fiscal year 27 for salaries and benefits and operating costs for those 2 positions. If the committee wishes to move this bill, adding general fund appropriations to cover the cost of those 2 positions, The appropriate action would be to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much. And with that, I'll accept a motion.
I'd so move to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much. From Senator Wynn, Senator Scheibel, a second. Any discussion on this particular bill? Not hearing any. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I will take the floor statement on that. And we will go to Senate Bill 427, Mr. Thorley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record again, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Senate Bill 427 was heard in Senate Finance on May 21st. It makes an appropriation to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and the University of Nevada, Reno for planning, upgrades, and construction for certain buildings. The bill was presented by Senator Doñate, and he was joined by representatives from UNR and UNLV that also provided testimony indicating that the $6.2 million general fund appropriation in the bill for UNR would be for the life science building, and then the $6.2 million in the bill for UNLV would be to begin the process of building the new business school there for planning and design. Testimony and support was provided by NSHE, the Building and Construction Trades of Northern Nevada, Nevada Farm Bureau, and the director of the biotechnology program at UNR, Vegas Chamber, Renown Health, lots and lots of others. No testimony in opposition, no neutral testimony. There was one amendment submitted right after the hearing, and that deals with Section 2 of the bill. 2 sub 1, as currently written, the $6.2 million for UNR would be for construction of a life science building. The amendment would change that to planning and design, because that's what was testified at the hearing. There's also been discussion about the funding source for this combined $12.4 million. Currently in the bill, it is would be general fund appropriations. There is currently the state has what is known as the Bond Interest and Redemption Fund that account contains funding related to the funding for the capital improvement programs and bond funding. There is interest earned on the account, and the interest earnings in the account are unobligated and can be used for generally unrestricted purposes, and in the past have been used to offset funding in the general fund. Last estimate we received from the Treasurer's Office is there's approximately $29.6 million in the of unobligated interest in the Bond Interest and Redemption Fund. $2.4 million could be used to fund this bill. That would look like a transfer from the Bond Interest and Redemption Fund to the general fund, and then it would then be a general fund appropriation just as it's written in the bill. So that's how it would look like if that's the path that the committee wants to go. So if the committee wishes to move this bill, and with the two amendments that I just discussed, the first one being the change in Section 2 sub 1 from construction to planning and design, and then the other amendment to fund the bill with unobligated interest revenue in the Bond Interest and Redemption Fund. The appropriate action would be to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Senator Wynn, go ahead, please.
Thank you. I'd move to amend and do pass as amended, and I appreciate the chair working to come up with creative solutions to make sure that we are getting the necessary buildings, equipments, updates, security that we need for our universities. And so thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to undo what I just said. Minus the thanking the chair for coming up with creative ways.
Okay,
to
we'll
come
just
up
do
with
a
funding.
quick recess. Thank you for not taking out my kudo.
So Wayne Thorley for the record, just to clarify, the amount in the bill is 12.4 million, not 2.4 million. So it would be 12.4 million from the bond interest redemption fund. And again, this is the unobligated interest earnings in that fund that would then be used to fund the general fund appropriations in this bill, again, of $12.4 million.
Although it would have been nice the other way, would you please restate your motion?
I would so move to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
I think I was just asking some clarity on the actual funding that it's using, and so does that then, so it's you're using interest, so that's not part of what our general fund balance is to use? Is this another source then? Just clarification.
Wayne Thorley for the record. So Senator Titus, this is interest in the bond interest and redemption fund. It is not interest that's already accounted for in the general fund. So it's a separate fund from the general fund where there are interest earnings on that fund. That money is not budgeted or allocated for anything at this time. It's just sitting in that fund. I should say the unobligated, the interest earnings in that fund is not budgeted for anything at this time. That fund is used to support the debt service of the state related to the capital improvement program.
Right, and that's what I was getting at. What we have in that fund now and what we've already obligated for will not be impacted by this $12 million bill, but it will be the future interest that is earned on those funds?
Wayne Thorley again for the record. So this is interest earnings that has already been accumulated and deposited in the fund. The fund maintains about a year's worth of reserves. So the state could cover its debt obligations related to the capital improvement program, even if we weren't collecting the property tax for about a year because of the amount of reserves that's held in there. So using this unobligated interest would not negatively affect the state's ability to pay its debt service.
Because we haven't gobbled this up yet, but we are. How much would it be? What's left in that interest, if I might ask? What would be the interest that we're looking at that? So what % of that interest is this $12 million taking?
Wayne Thorley for the record. Currently, there is the last estimate we received from the treasurer's office. This was on April 30th. Was $29.6 million. So this would take 12.4 million of the 29.6 million. And again, this is unobligated, unbudgeted
Right,
interest
so-
earnings.
Follow up on, Madam Chair, just one more thing. So there's no other bills that we have currently that are going to tap into this 29 million. This is the first.
Wayne Thorley for the record. Yeah, that I'm aware of. This is the first bill. There's no other bills that I'm aware of that are proposing to use this unobligated interest.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion on the floor. And so, second from Senator Scheibel. And with that, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. And I will give Senator Donate the floor statement. All right, we will go to Senate Bill 207.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will channel the member to my right and say I'm still Wayne Thorley, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Senate Bill 207 was work sessioned by this committee last night. It was amend and do pass. The motion included amending the bill to incorporate an administrative fee that would be collected from the selected PACE vendor or vendors. After further discussion with this, the committee may wish to revisit that action. And if the committee wishes to do that, there would need to be a motion to rescind the prior action. Then the following action then could be to amend and do pass Senate Bill 207, but rather than partially funding the bill with administrative fee, fund the bill with general fund appropriations for Nevada Medicaid, and then not include the amendment to incorporate administrative fee. So if that's the desire of the committee, there'd be two motions that would need to happen. The first would be a motion to rescind the prior action of the committee on Senate Bill 207. And then the second action would be to amend and do pass Senate Bill 207 to add general fund of $443,055 in FY26 and $184,057 in FY27 to fund Nevada Medicaid's costs. Also, this was in the motion from last night, but this new motion would also need to include the funding for the Division of Welfare and Supportive Services for one-time contract costs. That was 1.6 million, of which 407,700 would come from general fund appropriations in FY26. So happy to answer any questions that the committee might have on this.
Thank you very much. Any discussion on this particular bill? Okay, I'll accept a motion.
I'd so move to rescind the previous action of amending and do passing that we did yesterday.
Thank you very much, and I take a second from Senator Scheibel. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Senator Nguyen.
I would make an motion to amend and do pass and by adding in the general fund.
Thank you, Senator Nguyen. Second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion on the bill? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I will give the floor statement to Senator Taylor. I almost said it. I caught myself, Senator Taylor. It's going to be the death of me yet. It's funny how our brains work. All righty, with that, we are going to recess, and we'll see what happens during the day. I know that we have floor and some meetings this afternoon, so at this point, we will be in recess.